Hiya.
Hello. How are you doing?
All right, you?
Yeah, we're all right. Been busy this morning, writing,
Right
trying to
in.
finish another little publication, another one. So I've got a
Another
few.
one.
Yeah,
It's really good.
yeah, it's good. I've been busy, but also knew we were going to be doing our chat, so I was kind of like trying to get it clear in my head. So I'm not multitasking. I'm doing this and then I'm doing that because sometimes I think I have things stacking up. I don't know if you're the same, and then you kind of get a little bit uh, confused as to, or flustered, I should say. So I'm
Flustered.
just going to calm down now with my little glass of water.
That looks like wine.
Yeah, it's so like wine. But I'm on a detox, proper detox at the moment, so no wine for me.
Oh, as in just like off the bad things.
Just a juice, not a juice, a kind of a reset. I call it a hormonal reset. I think we might have touched on it a little bit before in a previous podcast about detoxing estrogen from your system. So it's
Yeah.
mainly for for people who are having a monthly cycle or have an estrogen surplus that can maybe bring on symptoms like spots or mood swings and just other not such nice things, but it's quite good.
So detoxing.
Yeah, before
Stop.
Christmas, and I can indulge again. No guilt.
Oh, I don't get that. I don't understand that. Well, I suppose I did it a little bit before, but now I just don't know. I don't think to even detox or whatever. Not don't
I
think
never
to.
did.
It's just an
I never
automatic.
have. Automatic what? Retoxing.
Retoxing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really drink no anymore, so I don't
Oh,
feel
never
like I
drink
need to.
more.
Just a nightmare if I drink. Simple.
Just every
Best
night.
best not to. Oh yeah, just a little snifter.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I love a drink. If there was a party, I'd definitely drink.
Be on it.
Well, there's not many parties at the moment, is there? So, you know,
Not many.
not no point really. I don't. I am not the sort of person to just want to drink for the sake of it. At the,
No,
just why? I don't really. I don't enjoy it.
no, no. I used to do that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday. Anyway,
Yeah,
it's a
exactly. Do the
different
old
life.
happy days drinking.
I'm not happy. Anyway, so
No,
your
I like
juices, are they back to the sort of juices that you sort of you have your juices though, don't you? Anyway, you have your good
juices.
juices. Your juices.
Green juices.
Green ones.
Greens.
Yes.
When I look at the green light, am I looking at you?
Oh, let's look at it now. Yeah,
Hello.
it sort of looks yeah, you're looking at me
I mean,
now.
I don't know. I'm looking because I'm looking at you,
Oh,
your
I'm
face,
looking at you on the
gallery.
screen. Yeah.
Anyway, doesn't matter. But yes, so the sort of maybe not a detox, but like a reset. So you just give your body a break from all the sugars and the all different things that aren't good for you, and your body goes, "Oh, thank you, I feel," and then you feel great. It's so grateful for anything you give it after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's really all the food tastes like amazing, but it's not even that you're not eating much. You eat for lunch you can have beans, vegetables, and a portion of or a portion of fish. Like white fish or if you're pescatarian. So you can do that, and then, but for breakfast you just have sort of fruit and a green juice, and then for tea you have a soup. So it's quite austere, but
Good.
it's I like it. It's not about. It's definitely not about losing weight or how you look. It's about how I feel.
How you feel,
How
absolutely.
I
Well,
feel.
it makes a big difference, doesn't it? That's what
It,
I've been doing with this. Did I tell you about just sort of trying to live without the car at the minute, seeing if it's
live
possible?
without the carrot.
Live without the carrots, also without the car. So I've been
I
biking
could not live,
and walking
but you want to
miles.
live without a car. Oh, well, I've lived without a car all my life, so
I know you have.
I can tell you
I
about
know.
that.
I'm just a little bit more reliant on having a car to feel like I'm useful than doing what I don't know stuff.
Well,
But yeah,
you
so
yeah, you live in a village, don't you? So
they're like 5 miles away from where the school is.
hmm
I don't do anything else apart from just going to school, really. But
hmm
yeah,
that's
so
enough, isn't it? If you're walking all that way.
yeah, walking and the biking. I like feel like it's something I'm doing that's for me, and it has like a longer term thing. Like I'm hoping that actually one day we might be able to have either moving into having an electric vehicle or something that I feel happier driving, or just
Yeah.
not needing it as
Yeah.
much. But yeah, it's relying on other services, bus services, or
Yeah.
relying on having the energy to walk an hour and a half
Well,
to and from school. But the kids, they're
yeah.
happy. They're happy on the bus. They love it. It's
Yeah, I
just,
mean, it's reliant on that. You're reliant on the bus, but you're also reliant on, uh, you just have to, it's sort of like your health, your walking will generate more health, won't it?
yeah, already feel pretty, just as I feel good. And I actually sleep well, and it's magic,
Mm.
really.
Do you? So it's actually helped
Yeah,
in so many different ways.
yeah, already. And
Uh,
we've only been doing
yeah.
it like 2 or 3 weeks, but yeah.
But
See,
that's, yeah, that is good. You notice just getting that daylight, actually, getting out and about, getting the melanin in your melatonin.
melon, melon,
Mm.
it's
Melanin
one
and
of them, isn't it?
yeah. Um,
Yeah,
I think they're related. I
they're
think
like
melatonin.
family.
I think melatonin is the hormone, and melatonin's the thing that
Melanin.
it processes. The hormone processes something in your body.
It's something to do with that, isn't it? And to do with sleep thing.
Your circadian rhythm. It really helps with that.
Yeah,
Getting as much daylight as possible will help you sleep. So it's not just about being physically tired. It's about getting your vitamin D and you know just relaxing after the walk. It's the whole thing. So
yeah.
so it's going well.
It's going good. Yeah, it's going well. There's frustrations when you can't manage to book the bus or whatever. So we've been using the car on those days. But yeah, in general, yeah, it's a bit of a like I pick the bike up and I'm like, right, okay, I'll bike back now or after I've dropped the kids off, which is
Uh-huh.
nice. But it's sort of like there's
Yeah.
that like feeling of dread almost because I know what I've got to do and I'm just
Red.
not used to it. Dread as in like, oh no, I don't want to do that. But then I know I do want to do it. And as I'm doing it, I feel like, oh, this is it. I can take on the world, and it feels good. It's just that dread. It is like awful dread. It's bad. I feel like that, but I
Yeah,
never
like
used to feel quite that bad about doing not exercise. That's what I find hard because exercise is a just a pointless thing. I don't like it. Like, oh, I'm going to go for a jog just for fun. Well, I don't find it fun, so I'm not going to do that. But if I know that I've got to get from school to home or to pick the kids up or whatever, and then I'm like, oh well, I'll do that because it's the way I'm going to. Otherwise, I'm not going to get there, sort of thing.
yeah, otherwise they'd be stranded. Then
Kids.
what?
But anyway,
Yeah.
that's this week's thing challenge. I don't know.
So, I mean, it's very unusual to walk that far. You know, someone wouldn't do that, would they really?
No, they probably wouldn't.
But there's a need that you've got, i.e., your car isn't working, so you've got to do it like that.
Oh, it's working
But
again now.
is it working? Okay,
Darn
so
it.
no choice.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's a very we're very privileged in our society that we wouldn't have to go and walk a substantial distance to go and get the basic necessities like
Yeah.
water or something like that. So there's something quite nice about you experiencing that journey every
Yeah.
day that
Yeah.
shows the privilege
Yeah.
that we take for granted a lot of the time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
and the
Yes.
overuse of the car as well, and like petrol and stuff like that is, you know, people just drive the shortest of distances and then they don't really think about it.
Yeah. Well, we all do. Yeah. It's
No.
that chance to just sort of think a little bit differently, a little bit more like how we all used to exist. I mean, as kids, we either got the bus or we walked, didn't we? Places. That's
Well, yeah, because we didn't have a car for
exactly.
like, when we were really little.
Yeah.
So very much we're very used to that, aren't we? Are kind of like just trooping along with everyone, and it's a much more eco way of going about things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just much, I don't know, kids really like the journey. I
Yeah.
think everyone
It's
only
so
loves going on
nice.
the train and the bus. They love that. I think they love a car too, but you know, they don't have the freedom to just mosey around or have a wander, do they, in a car? You're
Yeah.
stuck.
It's novelty, isn't it? It is. There's something real nice about it. It's like a little adventure, like every morning.
Yeah.
And there's no stressing when they're in the car. They're shouting at each other, hitting each other. I don't know. It's because they're so close together in the mini, but they're just
Yeah.
hitting each other and they're angry within seconds of
Oh
getting in the
no.
car. Where on the bus, they're like playing top trumps and
Yeah, they're getting on well.
yeah, it's just like I don't know. There's something freeing about it, and
Yeah.
that makes me feel good. That makes me them feel good, and it, yeah, it's
Yes.
great. We get to school
Yes.
early. It's brilliant. But anyway, what the
Yeah,
main
no,
thing?
it's good. And
Mm,
how are they sort of sleeping a lot better?
I don't know that that's happening yet because they're not doing all the walking and
Oh,
the
they're not doing
biking and
talking,
stuff.
it's you, isn't it?
But it's for my benefit, and that's it's really quite selfish what I'm doing, even though it's not. It is, but then they're loving how we're doing things at the minute, and I just feel I have like between 35 minutes, which is how long it takes on the bike, or an hour and a half on if I'm walking, and that time is for me. I just don't focus on anything other than just then just that walk or that journey, however
Mm.
it is happening. And no, I'm thinking of coming up with all sorts of different stuff, and it's just yeah, it's real selfish. That's probably why I more want to do it. Just
Yeah, it's a
that's that.
good kind of selfish because you know it's. But is it selfish? Is being focusing on yourself selfish?
Well,
Self-centered. This idea of being self-centered, is that genuinely selfish? Because oh, did you
oh,
hear that?
hello.
Right. That's embarrassing.
Oh, something bubbled up in you.
Oh no!
Let it out.
Never happened to Richard and Judy, did it?
Richard and Judy, eh? We like it to them.
Oh no! I'm embarrassed. But yeah, so but yeah, self-centered or being selfish, is that bad?
Well, no, it shouldn't be, should it? It shouldn't be have negative like connotations. It should be a good thing. And I
Mm.
think actually to be able to be like the better mum or to be a better person who whatever I'm being able to have that time for myself means that actually I'm stronger and better in everything
Mm.
because I'm doing that. So it's selfish, but it's not. But it's needed. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's kind of good to think about what you need and the time and space you need, and then for the children to sort of chime along with that, really, because it's good for them to chime along with what you how you feel good is what I sort of feel like is the better option than just doing everything how the children want it or how somebody else in the family wants it, because you know you could end up losing yourself. You can end up losing yourself within that mix because you're so selfless and you're always giving to them what
Yeah.
they need constantly for years years and years, and then you feel like you can't remember what you are or what you like even, but that's fine because you can rediscover it, which I feel like I've been able to do.
yeah.
So at the moment, like moving, putting that question of self less and selfishness to the side for a minute. So when you're on your walks, you have a lot of ideas, don't you? Or you can generate your intuitive thoughts quite nicely, can't you?
Yeah, it's great. I can't write them down though if I'm on the bike, but
Yeah.
but at least the thoughts are able to swirl around, and uh, it's like time for me to just focus on doing some exercise, something that helps my body. But then that means that the universe or whatever is able to just do the rest, and rather than me sort of, so I get come up with ideas and things, but it's not necessarily as much when I'm out walking or biking. That's the time for processing almost. So processing the things rather than actually coming up with them. So I come up with them when I'm doing. So if I'm at the allotment or whatever, I'm digging. I'll like
Mm.
things just like racing in. But yes, at the time when I'm like walking or hiking
I get you.
is like
So
it's weird, like processing time. And then by the time I've arrived at where I'm going, like metaphorically and physically, it feels like, well, that's that then, that's sorted now. Or
so it's almost like you don't have a resistance. You're
yeah,
literally on the path of least resistance when you're on the bike
yeah.
because you're focusing on staying on the bike.
Yeah, trying to not fall
Like
off or
focusing on
keep on going.
not off it.
Yeah.
That's what I'd be doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that. That's nice. So you generating the space for your
That's it. Yeah,
for the answers to come, or for there no to be like to be no resistance about your outcomes and stuff. It's much more about your desire, the feeling that you're desiring, or the general the generalized outcome of what you're hoping for.
yeah. So it's like, okay, that's that time for rumination, and I can sort of like have things floating around, but I can't focus on them. So
Mm.
it's really yeah, it's freeing for my
Yeah, no,
mind.
that
And
just sounds like a good space, which you could obviously have at the gym, but it's not quite the same as if you're out and about, is it? In nature, going
yeah,
around the fields, and where you live's really nice, and it's in the countryside now, isn't it?
yeah,
So it's like different from a city bike ride. It's not really much pollution or anything like that. So do you
yeah.
think do you think the environment that you've been living in has really helped you focus your kind of your personal goals, or your personal sort of like career goals in particular, on being environmentally responsible and things like that? Do you think being in the countryside has really brought that home, being around nature and stuff? Do you think that that's what's driving you to
I think
be this
you
spokesperson for eco family life?
yeah, it has to have had the biggest impact, probably. It was
Yeah.
the biggest sort of monetary thing to sort of commit to. But then that was the shift with moving out
Yeah.
there, was the shift from, I don't know whether it was anything to do with living in a town or city or whatever before. I, I think it's just now, it's just like, now with there we do have to think differently, and also it just highlights the problems, like with having a car or not having a car, or because
Mm.
you just become a bit more, maybe a bit more aware of having less around you and
Mm.
less accessible, and
Mhm.
realize that when you do go in, or if you go into the shop or you go into town or something, it feels very busy. I mean, it's not even
Mm.
that busy, is it, the local town? But to feel like it's sort of ah, a bit like
Mm.
that sometimes, and that's when you realize, yeah. So yeah, it definitely has made an impact into like the sort of more the decisions that I've made recently, with living more of a even more of a sort of sustainable lifestyle. And but yeah,
Mm.
I think it
It's
has.
like you're kind of swapping out bits as you go, aren't you? Like you had a car which wasn't a really eco car, so you're kind of like swapping that out or trying to at least. And I suppose it's just bit by bit, isn't it, that you can transition into a more sustainable lifestyle. I think it'd be hard to just do everything, overnight. I think you have to be super wealthy or something to be able to swap everything over.
Well, that's what I feel like. That's what makes it really tricky being on that sort of journey, that path, because you do feel like, oh, I need to have some money to be able to buy the electric car or to be able to afford to get the bus or instead of drive.
Yeah.
There are a lot more
To move house where
things. Yeah.
you don't need either. Everything's on your doorstep. If you lived in a little village or something, it's a lot easier, isn't it?
Yeah. So but that's what I think is quite exciting about being on that kind of sustainable journey, that actually once you've realized that it isn't that tricky if you do just make little steps,
Mm-hmm.
constantly you've got to keep working on it. You can't just sort of pretend it's not happening. But yeah, so once you've started on that journey, you can build on it, and the momentum builds very quickly once you have started those little changes. But sometimes thinking that it's your wealth that may in whether you have enough money to do something like that or whatever it is, it's just a barrier, like any kind of barrier, isn't it? It's something in your mind that's stopping you from doing it because of the fear of what will happen if you do it, or the fear of the failure
Yeah,
or the
could be. I
success.
mean, like, I know a lot of people grew up with sort of like a disgust or something about charity shops. And like, we used to trail around the charity shops, didn't we? And I'm pretty sure when I was a teen, teenagers like, oh, guys, what are we doing here? But they were looking for things. Mum and dad were looking for their little collections, their cool ceramics or something. They were quite cool in that way of being not about the big material things that everyone else has got, but about the things that they like, the quirky kind of like Italian fish that from Murano glass are really cool now. Like they were proto hipsters before their time. So we were used to that.
Yeah.
And like I started, I think it was when I was living in Manchester, going to the charity shops in Chorlton, but not necessarily for ceramics, no, but like for kind of vintagey clothes.
Yeah.
And then you sign like that gets really exciting because you're being really you have a good eco mindset. You're buying secondhand. You're not going to shops and buying things new, and you're not going in with the fads. But then it becomes like addictive because you find like really cool designer kind of things. But anyway, then I moved to Edinburgh, and then it gets like amazing because there's a lot of wealth in Brunsfield. So I would just go to hit all the charity shops and just get some amazing like Christian Dior jacket or like a Moncler jacket. I know I do like obviously the fine things in life.
Why not?
But I like to have a good ethos behind that as well. So there's both.
You can do both. You can do both.
Yeah, so that, but a lot of people would be like, oh no, I'm not buying from a charity shop. But like, if a lot of people did, and that would be great, wouldn't it? Because a lot of it just goes to the landfill, doesn't it? All these, I can't believe how many queues there were outside Primark or Sports Direct for things, and you just think, man, you're just gonna buy it and wear it, but like even now, where are you gonna wear it? Who's looking? Because no one's looking at anyone, right? Really?
Surely not.
No, I mean, I think it has to change. Oh, I don't want to get onto a rant because we're supposed to be talking about it. But I do think that I get it because I used to buy fashion things, go to River Island and Topshop when I was young, of course. But I think that there's just so much stuff in the world. You just have to have a little step back and realize that is just, it's like bin shopping or it's disposable clothing, and like, is that really good? Is that really what you want to do? I don't know because I don't want to judge people because, like I say, I've definitely done this before.
Yeah.
I'm, fashionista in a way. I like to think, but not really. Yeah.
Well, I think there are many people out there that they may have the need to shop,
Go to Primark.
yeah, because they can't afford
Yeah.
anything else, and it
Yeah,
is
but that's
cheap.
not true, is it? Because again,
Well,
I think there's a stigma about going to the charity shops like people who couldn't afford it would go to the charity shops because
yeah,
they're seriously a lot cheaper than, or they used to be really a lot
used to
cheaper
be, yeah.
than Primark.
I
So
think
maybe
it's
they need to know that it's going to last a lot. If you get a pair of Levi's jeans from a charity shop, it's going to last a lot longer than a pair of jeans from
I think I know what it. I think
high street store.
because I've heard different sides of this. Because I was a bit. Well, I heard that after like lockdown and everything, that places like Primark were opening up and people were able to go in there and get what they needed and queue up for hours to get in there. But then from one side of it, I did hear that there are a lot of families out there that may not be able to get clothes for their children and feel like they need to provide them what
Good
they need
stuff.
to provide him, and that's all they can get. So that's what I did hear, that there was a lot of you know
Oh, I see. So actually, at
families
that point, they were desperate for clothes because they hadn't got
because they
any. They hadn't
hadn't
got
got
on.
any.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah,
because they
yeah, and
couldn't.
actually, yeah, because actually, it's a lot more expedient to go and get the right sizes from Primark, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Or,
then not
or
being able to get the
like
on.
a supermarket store, because
Yeah,
obviously it's easy. I would do that for the girls. I'm not saying that I would always buy from the second-hand store, although I did when they were little. I'd get things from
yeah,
a charity shop that was for kids or eBay. Yeah,
yeah, same.
but
Yeah, yeah.
you can't. It takes a long time, doesn't it? All these things, eBay, you would take a long
Process.
time to
Yeah,
choose or whatnot, or you can't guarantee that they would have the right size in the charity shop.
yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
that.
so I think
It's
these
the quick
stores
fix, isn't it?
definitely.
Go in, get you what you
That's what
need
I mean. It's such a middle. Is it not just a middle class privilege to
to
do
be
all
able to
this?
do that. But not necessarily then. I suppose a middle class privilege is the fact that we can go online and wait for something to arrive.
Mm,
And or I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah. That's what I think.
yeah.
But it's a bigger problem than we're probably going to sort out today. But yeah, it's
Not
that's
our
one of the
remit. Well,
well, it's the biggest one of the biggest sort of like the problems that I find just incredibly
they
frustrating.
shouldn't have to buy clothes if they're destitute. They should have clothes banks. The, you
Access
know,
to it.
you know, like alongside they should have a thing. There should this, or you could put your order in for something. Somebody should do that. I think.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
that's a great idea.
I always
Right,
know.
that's another thing to
Sorry, I don't
among.
want to get into a rant because I don't have the answers. I
No,
really, obviously
I don't.
we don't. We just have opinions and sort of aims that we want to like. I don't know. We just want to do our. I just want to do my best.
Yeah, and that's all that anyone can do, isn't it? You've got to be able to sit there
Yeah.
and say, "Yep, I've done the best that I could you know, with the opportunities around me
Mm.
and the money, the whatever you can do."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So you've got to go and get your kids now.
No, not yet.
All
I
right.
should no, I don't have to walk today. I'm on the bike, so it's a
That's it.
35-minute ride.
What are the colours on your wall there?
My colours. Oh, these are just nice colours.
What for?
Just cause I did used to save them for my design boards, um, but for some reason those three tones just sort of sat nicely, and I just put them up on the wall.
Oh, it's decoration.
Yeah, well, it's. I think it's the colours. The colours, the purples, the blues are the things that sort of like pop out at the minute in 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 lots of things. So I
Yeah.
just maybe that's why they're there. I don't know. I like orange too, but oranges
Pretty.
and greens. I like lots of
I
colours.
can't see any oranges. I can see pink,
No, I'm just thinking that. I'm looking around the
moving
room.
face.
There isn't any.
Is that your favourite?
I don't know. I like rainbow. I like lots of colours. I like
Yeah.
bright colours, things that make you pop and
Things
feel
that make you go.
feel good.
Yeah. So what else?
What else? So yeah, yeah, I've done a lot of writing recently. I know you're a big writer.
Yeah.
I like a writer, trying to be a writer, doing all sorts of different things. But
You try and be everything. You can.
well, why not?
Yeah, exactly. You've got to try it out, and then something is fits.
I just like that. Something one day might just sort of might work out for me.
Yeah, but you're not writing for the sake of it, are you? You're writing to communicate your ideas about eco stuff to an audience, aren't you? Really, that's what it's about, I think.
That is it. That is it in a nutshell.
So actually it's just that you're writing for that. You're not saying I am a writer. You're writing because it suits what you need to communicate.
It's the way to get that
You're doing
information
it in
out.
speech as well, aren't you? You're doing like little radio shows and stuff.
Speaking and writing.
Yeah, you've got you're doing quite a lot of communication, I suppose, trying to grow your audience at the moment.
Yeah, trying. Good. Got to reach all the people, tell them all, help them
Yeah,
all.
tell them all.
Not just tell them. I don't want to just tell everybody. I want to help them, basically.
Yeah, no, it's good. You've got a clear message, haven't you? So it's important to share.
Yeah, we want the free eco education for everybody now. That's what we've decided. I mean, we. I mean, me. But yeah, somehow, some way to get it out so that everybody has access to it. Similar to what we were just saying about like judging people or how they shop and things. And actually, you don't know what everybody's like experiences are. You don't know how things are,
Mm.
and just being able to, for everybody to be able to know how they can live for themselves in the best way that's not just for the planet but for them as well. So yeah, that's the next big thing to try and
Yeah, like everyone takes a little bit of responsibility for themselves, and that's the first step, isn't it?
yeah.
Because I don't think we can wait for the government to say, "Oh, by the way, this is all gone wrong, the environment's screwed." But don't you think it's funny? This is like interesting for me that every time there's a colossal forest fire in the world, like sure enough, a few months after the pandemic, the sort of the curve goes up again. And I just think that these fires, are really obviously really bad in so many ways, but that create or contribute to the pollution around the globe. Because there was the Australian forest fires, the first one, then there was the American forest fires for the second kind of wave. And it's like not normal for these things to be happening.
No, and they're
Most.
faster and they're happening more often, aren't they now? And
Oh,
that's
yeah. And
it's
so
definitely
when does the government say, mates, you can't really have more than one holiday a year? It's not. And are they going to say that to everyone? Are they going to say that to the super wealthy? Just can't do it. You can't
no.
keep doing the things that you're doing, guys. You
Yeah,
just can't have a little think. They're not going to say that because it will spoil the economy or the economy that they have at the moment. But I think with the pandemic, the economy is shifting to be something different.
well, it has
Because
to
we can't.
shift.
Yeah, it
It's
has
not
to.
sustainable.
We can't actually. Sadly, we can't do the sorts of things that we were doing before, like going to gigs or going to the theatre. You can't get together on that scale anymore. Go and hang out with your mates, loads of mates at the pub or something.
Yeah, but
So it has to be.
those that's this is what I find really quite frustrating, or I don't know what it is really, but like those things that you can't do where they're just sharing experiences, they're the
Mm,
ones that we're missing out on, that sharing and
yeah.
social interaction,
Mm,
which I understand for why we're doing it, but it's to do with the arts, isn't it? It's to do with those
mhm.
places where the creative
Well, they've managed to do a
people
few
come
football games.
together.
They've managed to keep the football games, don't
Yeah,
they?
well, this is
That
exactly
audience,
what
more of a partial audience.
this
So
is exactly where the problems lie. It's because of the hierarchy of what the social need is
yeah,
deemed by
yeah.
somebody else
The
that is super
patriarchy, isn't
wealthy.
it?
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
yeah, it's
It's the
right.
guys that need the football because what if blokes didn't have football? What would they do? No, that I am kidding. Obviously, I
That's
know
a
a lot of blokes who
sweeping
don't like football.
statement.
They're not bothered about football, but it just makes me a bit angry that yeah, you can't go to the theatre.
You can't do
Obviously,
anything
that's
that's
indoors and it's close. It's close. You know, it's I don't know.
yeah, and no, it it's unbalanced, isn't it? It's all very unbalanced, and the things that you can do aren't necessarily seen as I don't know, necessarily they were not necessarily any safer than if we were doing those sort of things where you can go to gigs or you can go to the theatre or the cinema
Mm.
or anything where just even go to a cafe. You know, we can't do that, can we? It's just takeout only, and so places are just closed.
Mm.
And the places that you would like, I'd love to sit and write. I take my computer and go and sit and write in the like local, like independent little cafes and stuff. Can't even go
Mm.
and do that. So there's, I don't know, part.
Or a library, or you know, the things that are actually free, a museum or gallery. You know, these things. But but you know, we are going through this, and hopefully, the things that we love will be able to come back. You know, with a resurgence. You know, after with the vaccine and hopefully there's some kind of like yeah that all it all works out.
Yeah, so that everybody isn't just
Yeah,
in a lot worse place, but at least we're
yeah, because
all.
that's the thing. It's like those collective moments are the moments that we all crave. That's what I'm missing. Like I
I
can't
think
believe
that's the
we won't
same.
be able
Yeah.
to see each other at Christmas.
Mm,
We won't be able to get together because there's four of us, four sisters, right?
it's
So
not
it's not
possible.
unless we did it in a park. Anyway, I said kind of like I don't want to sound sad about it because you know, it's great. I can see you on Zoom and that's wonderful, you know.
It's just not
But
the
it would be
same.
nice, like, yeah, because it would be the first Christmas we've not been able to see you and
Mm,
have that sort of camaraderie. Um, but it's all part of the big effort to make sure to protect the most vulnerable in society, isn't it? That, and I
yeah,
do believe
you
that.
know
I'm not
why.
like ever going to think that that's not what this is all about, you know, because it is about that. But if we can still at the same time keep the good feelings going, keep the good vibes going with kind of like online things and connecting more by talking more and, you know, sharing things that we're enjoying, you know, sharing little bits of cultural activity that we've been enjoying or, you know, recipes. I don't know, things that bring little, really little things that you do bring you joy, meditation, things
Mm.
like that. Just, oh, I probably sound like a total doofus.
Doofus.
But
What a
these
word.
things, doofus. But these things during the lockdown are the things that keep you sane, aren't they? The things that keep you going is the hope on the other side that society's rebuilt or the world's rebuilt or recalibrated
Yeah,
into something that is sustainable, that isn't going to create more of these zoonotic diseases. You know, this idea of treating our animals really well and treating each other really well. You know,
yeah.
that's the
Simple,
hope, isn't it? What's
isn't it?
that?
It's simple
It's
in
simple, but it has been
concept.
difficult for people to do
Yeah,
that in the past. People, some, you know, find it hard. But we're evolving as a species. We obviously are, because we've seen so much hope and joy through this as well, and how many people have kind of come together through this to be stronger and to be like, right, very focused on what they want to do and what they can do for the people and the sort of impact that they can have, like a really positive impact, you know. So like personally, I've been doing this work with the dementia friends and the Alzheimer's Society, and it's called Sing for Brains. It's about singing and people living with dementia, and kind of like, and also doing a course on general health benefits of singing. And like that is, there's so many benefits to singing, in particular as having a group setting, which again isn't possible at the moment, but you can do it over Zoom.
Yeah.
So you're setting up these Zoom groups where you're singing with lots of people from, you know, different walks of life, but in particular people living with dementia and their carers, and how that can impact in a positive way.
Mm.
You know, and that's it. Like I don't know. I wanted to do this course for a while, but having the lockdown happen was sort of the thing that made me think, yeah, actually got the time and space to do it well. So yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what I'll hopefully we're doing more of in the new year. But I know a lot of people have been doing like charity walks or fundraising. Like our
Yeah.
cousins have done a lot of them, haven't they? And just
Lots of
thinking how can we give? How can we give? How can we be of service in whatever way, whatever our skill set might lend us to,
yeah.
you
Yeah, I
know?
think a lot of people feel a little bit like less than themselves, or that they haven't been able to do anything
Yeah.
or offer anything. And then yeah, like doing things like that, acts of
Hmm.
kindness, things just gives that lift to everybody, and that long may that continue. Really, don't
Yeah. Yeah, like just sort of
sense
being
of
friendly.
community.
Yeah, 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 helping out as much as you can with the local community, the local schools and stuff like that, and keeping everyone going. You know, the teachers, giving a little
Mm.
box of chocolates to the teachers.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You love the teachers. I gave a box of chocolate. Right, it's a really long-winded story. I don't know if we've got time for this. Really long-winded story. I found a wallet. I was on the phone. I'd done this Sing for Brain thing. I'd done the Zoom conference in the morning, learning. So I was on a bit of a high. So I went out for a walk and I found a wallet on the floor. I was on the phone to Dean. I was like, hi, 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 Dean. And I found a wallet and I was like, oh, I'll pick it. You know, I'll pick it up. And then I walked home with it. And then we were trying to find out whose wallet it was. We tried to phone the police and they were like, take it to the police station. Our police station's miles away. We couldn't do that. So I found a yoga card in it, and it was for Jasmine Yoga. So I phoned up and I said, "Hi, I've got this. I've got someone's wallet," and I said the name, and she said, "Oh, she's one of our yoga instructors," and she's got a young kid. And so I then got the number of the girl whose wallet it was, and I phoned her, and she lives just down the road in Tynemouth. So I arranged to meet her that day, and I said, "I'll come to you." And we met outside a church, and I took her wallet in a bag that was a bag that we'd bought from a poet friend of ours that had a really nice poetic statement saying, "In search of in search of the ordinary." Oh, I can double check that. Anyway, so I gave it to her, and she'd given me a box of chocolates to say thank you. So it's this exchange.
Very
So I
nice.
thought I don't want to do it so that I think I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna get a good feeling or good vibes out of it. I just wanted to do it because I was on a bit of a high. So anyway, we exchanged gifts, and I had this box of chocolates. I was like, oh, I wanna, you know, what am I gonna do with this box? It's like I don't. No, it's not that I didn't feel like I could receive this, but I felt like I needed to keep the gift going. So I was going on the way literally to the school drop off. So I thought, well, I'm just gonna give to the teachers because they need a cheer, a pick me up, right? So I did. I gave it this. There's a long story. I suppose it's just this idea of keeping the gifts going or keeping the thing going, keeping the vibe, the good vibes going. And the head teacher phoned me the next day and she was like, oh, thank you. And I was like, oh, you know, I think, and I just love the teachers and I just love teachers. I just think what they do is just, I mean, amazing.
Yeah. Just keep it
Give it
moving.
up, give,
Well,
give, give.
that's how it works, isn't it? You have that like little act of kindness to somebody, then it has
Yeah,
a reverberates and
yeah, it ripples, doesn't it?
yeah.
And reverberates.
I like the word reverberates better.
Yeah, it's kind of like, so it's nice. I think I just, yeah. But it was just a great opportunity of being in the flow of that day and kind of like surfing the good vibes.
Riding that wave.
I loved it. It
Yeah.
was wonderful.
Oh, that's good. Now you did some good things, and that's it. You can feel just good. You don't necessarily need to do anything crazy. It doesn't need to cost money, does it? It just needs to
No,
be. thoughtful.
It's
That's
the opposite of that. Sometimes with when you spend money, there's a feeling of, oh, well, I'm not sure I want to spend this.
yeah,
Like, obviously, it's nice to spend money, but sometimes, I don't know if maybe it's how we were brought up or something, but you value money, you do have a big val, you think about money.
yeah.
Like,
I've,
I don't know if
it,
that's necessarily a good thing, but you certainly value it.
yeah, I think to a point where you might feel, I feel awful spending it in general. I don't feel good. Like I feel like I need to make myself feel better, sort of
Yeah,
self.
you definitely do, because that's like a poverty consciousness, isn't it? You've got to feel good about spending it because actually, the more wealth you have, or the more wealth I have, the more we can give and do
Give,
good things with that.
yeah,
And
that's
actually, it's a kind of form of energy like any other energy, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. Oh, it's a
It's like
big
love.
energy, isn't it? It's got a lot of power to do stuff,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
money and the energy that
yeah.
flows with it. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. So when you're paying for things, if you pay with a kind of gratitude or you pay with that without thinking, oh, I'm not sure about this, if
mm,
you just feel good about it, then it's just generates more good feeling experiences, I suppose.
yeah.
But yeah, there's guilt. Maybe it's just guilt that you're
I think
feeling.
it's guilt, isn't it? Yeah,
You know,
it's a
it must
key.
be. Like I remember going on spending sprees with you guys, mum and dad, and we said, oh, you can get anything you want, you can get anything. And I know I think Fiona got a guitar, and so I think I had wanted a guitar, but I didn't want to ask for that because it's like a big ticket. And I just thought, oh, even though they're saying we could have anything, I just felt guilty or something about asking. And I just wouldn't ask for what I really wanted. I think I got a doll in the end or something, which is cool. But that thing
It's
about
not a
actually,
guitar.
it's not. Yeah.
Oh, you could have been playing years ago, Daniela.
Yeah, yeah, but Fee did her lessons, didn't she? She said it was a creepy guitar teacher though. I spoke to her about it the other
She
week.
did.
It was a bit creepy.
So
But
beautiful.
yeah, I think that it's just about asking for what you feeling like you're deserving
I think that's
of.
it. The feeling. We've spoke about this before, haven't we? About the feeling
Yeah,
and then you're open to
mhm,
receive it if you can
yeah,
feel how you feel
yeah,
when you have the thing or when you are going to have it. You
yeah,
put yourself in the right zone to receive
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
also, yeah, doing good things is and giving things is one of
Mm.
the
But
it's
you can't buy serendipity. You literally
no.
can't buy it. I couldn't have bought that series of. Oh, and then she was like, oh, the yoga teacher said, oh, you should come and have some free classes.
Yeah,
Or like, and I will go, and it's made me focus again about yoga. But no, it's serendipity.
yeah.
Well, that's not a commodity, really. I mean, it is in a sense, it's not
No, it's a form
a
of
monetary
energy,
sort
isn't
of
it? It has to be a form
what?
of it has to be a form of that good energy
Yeah.
that that brings about these things. You can't predict them.
Yeah.
You can't say what's
Yeah.
going to happen. It just it kind of yeah, and you can't will it. You can't make it, can you? So
No.
it's yeah, it's
No, and it's like I don't know. This is different, but this is like say last Christmas we had a brilliant Christmas. Fiona had a party. Were you there at the party
the
at
party.
Fee Fi?
Which party?
At Fiona's Christmas party last year?
On
I don't think
them,
you were. Everyone was there.
and not
Oh, you
everyone. Then if I wasn't there,
No, but everyone was all the aunties and uncles.
oh, I couldn't make it. No, why couldn't I make it? Don't know.
Oh,
Anyway,
I don't know. Anyway, I'd
oh,
always
it
wanted
was.
to go around.
Yeah,
What's what's that?
I don't know why I didn't go. I feel sad now.
Well, anyway, it was the party of the decade
I know.
because that's
Sad.
it now until
No
maybe
more.
next year. It was such a good party. They had pizza oven, beautiful that family hanging out, conversation. Anyway, it was lovely to see everyone, and they were so chilled out, relaxed, and I wanted to get to have a really good chat with Auntie Jen and Uncle Martin, and then I sort of, and we got, and like we did have a really nice chat, and then they invited us round to their house for the next day or something, just before we were going back to Tynemouth. It was really nice
Mm.
to just to go round to their house and see their collections, the guitar collections and the ceramics collections. It was really, really, really special.
Is that the first time you've been there?
For years, yeah,
Yeah, for a long time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Bet you go around a lot, do
I
you?
haven't been around for a
Oh,
long time. I went
what
round.
am I talking about?
Uh,
Sometimes I forget.
what?
You can't
That you
actually,
can't just go and do that. Well,
can't
I haven't
actually.
even been for a lot longer before all this sort of lockdown stuff. I hadn't been either, but I shied away from loads of people and didn't go round because I felt like a bit of a
Okay.
burden. Because every time I went round there, I think they felt like, well, not just them, everybody just feel like, oh, you've got to help her, make her feel better.
Oh, because of the divorce.
Yeah, and I was just sort of sat there, just like, oh, I probably cried a lot the last time I went round there. So I thought, oh, I'll just stay away.
Because they were
Easier.
giving you, because they were giving you some love or something.
Yeah, they were giving me awesome love and Auntie Jen just giving me just saying stuff like it's supposed to be this way so that you'll be in a much better place, and all the things you want to
Oh,
hear. And she said, oh, if I hadn't got divorced, I wouldn't have met your Uncle Martin and all these things. So these are the things that you have to sometimes go through
oh,
to find the
wow.
right person, so it was
Oh,
wonderful, but
yeah, yeah.
also just, yeah, I just felt like, oh, I just can't keep on being like a burden or emotionally exhausted.
Yeah. You spent.
I was spent, so I just felt it's
It's
not
true
fair on
though.
anybody
It's true,
else.
yeah. Like what you have to go through. But then, I don't know. I do have a. This is another. We've got to talk about this another time
Oh,
because we can't talk about everything now. But yeah,
sure.
divorce is another one to talk about, isn't it?
Oh gosh, yeah, if we have to. Yes,
I just
probably
think
is a
that
good idea.
it is a good idea.
What, to get divorced or in
No, to
just
talk about
general?
divorce
Yeah,
or not
talk
getting
about it.
divorced
Open it up.
and speak
Yeah,
about that.
it's a conversation that people should have more of, because it's funny how it's not funny at all, but
No.
it's much more of an eye opener when you are going through that process to hear about how other people are feeling
Yeah.
or how.
Nobody talks about it.
No, they don't.
It's
Why
sort of
would
social
you?
stigma,
Yeah, because
which
that's how
it shouldn't be.
no, that's how I felt all the way through. And as soon as it, like, the papers came through or whatever, I just felt like, oh God, I'm a divorced woman. What what
Divorcee,
just
darling.
divorce?
Divorcee. It's much
Well,
better to say it like that.
I'll be a divorcee then, but still,
Yeah, you're right.
it's only, I suppose, it's only the
Is
stigma.
divorcee both man and woman? They're both divorcees. Is it?
Probably. I
Yeah.
don't know. I didn't look into it too much.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, so that was like you felt labelled.
Label, just felt like, oh God, I never wanted to be that ever. I mean, who wouldn't
Nobody
want to
thinks,
be
hey,
that?
I want to be that.
I can't
Yeah, but did
imagine
you
it.
ever think I want to be married? Probably. But why?
Just because that's what. Oh, it's funny. We were talking about this with Fee this morning. So,
Oh, great.
um, yeah, yes, I probably
Why?
did. I don't know, just because that's what you're supposed to do, and
So what do you say? See?
that's what our family was like, and that's what everybody did, didn't it? Everyone
Yeah, just a minute.
got
I've
married.
lost my slipper.
Just lost what you lost, your sticker.
Slipper.
Oh, your slipper. Oh,
My
you've got sneaky
beautiful
slippers on
slipper. I
too, have
won't
you?
show you because it's not that beautiful.
I got my slipper. Look.
Anyway, the problem with slippers is it makes you sort of like walk shuffly, and I do not like shuffly walker. I do not like shuffly walker. It's not sexy. So yeah, so everyone wanted to get married, and we thought,
It's just a normal
yeah,
thing
that's
that
that's what
everybody,
you
yeah,
do. And we're capable of choosing because like we're capable of choosing everything, right?
right, right.
No, because what people don't realise is that most of the relationships we get into at a young age are sort of teaching us about the gaps that we've got, rather than if we do have gaps, if we're super healthy mentally and everything, that we probably don't have any gaps and we can find true love very easily and early. But if we have gaps, that everyone we meet is our mirror, we're triggering each other all the time, but we're also learning and becoming better people. So, but then to sort of put yourself in a marriage to say that is the thing for me forever, I don't think we think about, like, I didn't think about that when I got married. I wasn't like, this is forever, because I didn't really know what that meant. I mean, I wasn't 23, but we were 23 when I met him, Dean, my husband, my lovely husband. So, you know, but am I in the best position to know what's best for me? Best business, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, how does anybody? Well, that's the trick, isn't it? How you don't know. No one knows
No?
in any relationship that you get into,
No?
whether it's like a couple or whether it's just friends or whatever it is.
Dog?
You don't know. You
How
don't
many
know
dogs?
how that's going to play out. No one does, and
No?
that's the thing. I suppose when you put in a label of marriage within that or on that, then that's cementing it and actually not giving it room to to move
Grow,
and breathe,
change.
maybe to grow and
Because it's
change.
not just a label, is it? You're putting yourself within an institution
Mm.
that is there or has been there to keep people. It's a sort of mercantile institution a lot of the time, isn't it? It's about money and property and ownership. Woman changes the name, blah blah blah. And so it's an institution that you're buying into,
Yeah,
which is beautiful. I believe,
this is
like,
great.
I
I do.
believe it's
Yeah.
romantic, and I believe in love,
Mm.
obviously. But I just think that love is expansive and it's not contained. You cannot contain it. You can't contain it.
Yeah, and you
You
can't
cannot.
control it. You can't control any of it.
You shouldn't try, really.
Mm.
That's what marriage might be. But also, at its best, it can work in a lifelong, beautiful partnership where people are intertwined and grow together and create something amazing, create beautiful children, or if they're able to do that within that, if they can do that, that's cool, isn't it? But
It's great. It's
you
fun.
create the children and then get, because having the kids itself is really the thing that's difficult.
That's the bit that when things change, because
Yeah,
your
like,
roles within that relationship change dramatically,
oh,
don't they? That's got to
yeah,
be one of the key parts to whether things can work or not, because
yeah. You need to do I always joke, we
mm,
need to do a survey before you have kids, and like we questionnaire. Would you let your child go up this tall slide or not? Simple things like that. Where
they're the questions we should have asked.
yeah, questions. But that doesn't mean that you're not a match for a person. It just means that having the children just puts a different spin on it.
It's going
But
to.
yeah. So we'll have to have another chat about this
Yeah,
another day.
I have to.
The divorce chronicles.
I can't wait. I get myself revved up ready.
Yeah, because it's good to
Oh,
share. It's good to share, Amy.
yep. And there's so many
Yeah.
people that, don't, and it hurts inside if you don't talk or if you don't realize that there is other people going through similar type things. And
Yeah,
it's not
exactly. Yeah.
even in the healthiest, happiest marriage, there is, there's always going to be some sort of. It's just relationships, isn't it? It's hard. It's not. Nothing's easy, and that's. But the same with life as well. Life is tricky, and you actually think that it should feel really good all the time, and actually, the majority of the time, you don't feel that great, or you feel like you're struggling, or there's something that you're battling against, and that is fundamentally life. That's what we're all doing. That it's not about feeling like
Yeah, but
everything's so
we're
good.
creating our lives. We're creating our lives. We are.
Yeah,
We are.
definitely
If you if
trying.
you if you think we're not, we're creating our lives, definitely. And we're creating our response to our lives as best as
Yeah,
we can.
yeah,
Letting it go. And obviously the things that you did when you were, you know, 20 you wouldn't do now, sort of thing. So that's the difficult thing, isn't it? Knowing that how much you can evolve and how much you can change as a person whilst maintaining your kind of like youthful exuberance and your kind of like young at heart sensibility. You evolve. That's life. That's life. Life is change.
Yeah,
Life
it
is
certainly is, isn't it?
evolution and
Changes.
opening and expanding and kind of like letting the love in and letting it go when it's not the right love for you anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't mean, that kind of means that you don't get to blame people because no one's guilty.
Well, there you can't even blame yourself. It's not. It's
Oh,
just a
you're the
change.
last
It's
person to blame, but you take responsibility for your
responsibility.
part
Yeah.
in it.
To
But you
change.
know that through that knowing that you have changed and you have become something different to that which
It's like a landscape, isn't it? Life in that respect, that it's forever changing, and things just naturally just sort of
yeah,
move move forward, not necessarily forward, but they just sort of grow, don't they, and keep going.
yeah, yeah, there's a season for everything, isn't there? You know, that's the thing. If you look at nature, you can really learn
Yeah,
all you need to learn actually.
just keeps on going.
Yeah, and like the fact that we are part of nature must give us clues to the fact that we do need to be a bit more mutable like nature, a little bit more mutable, a little bit changeable, you know, but with keep the analogy going, why don't we?
Why not?
Roots. Remain rooted, but
Yeah.
be like water. No, I don't know.
I could
Like, be firm like, strong like a mountain. But
yeah.
yeah,
I think, yeah, that sort of
that's it
basically
now.
covers
I think we've done it
life.
now.